Preparing to live stream the meeting. Setting up meeting for YouTube Live.
Okay, we're live.
Oh.
Well, welcome to the Southeast Women's Fast Pitch today. We're so excited to have you being an audience member today, and also to highlighting the founders who are going to be pitching today. They are very excited to be part of this, and I've been pitch prepping them for the last couple of days, and they are all stellar. So we're really excited to have you part of this endeavor that Stella Labs has taken on this year. We've done it for the last 5 years, the Women's Fast Pitch. But last year we did a couple of regions. This year we're doing 6 regions across the nation. Stella Labs is an accelerator for female-owned businesses to launch and grow their businesses. And we do these access to capital events so that founders, like the ones you'll hear today, have the opportunity to get in front of judges who we pick as our colleagues in the investment space, and be able to have that access to capital event as a pitch competition, and then go on to the Women's Venture Summit. So welcome today. The theme of the Women's Venture Summit is Rise and Shine. I know it's not the morning, but it's Rise and Shine. Let's listen to these founders and see who wins today. So a little bit of operational things. You know now that we are now on our website. So check around what we do. On, I think, the left-hand side of the screen, you have a Vote Now button. We'll go through that a little bit later. And then on the right, there's some chat. So I want the audience to chat it up today. Chat it up for these founders, give them some support. I talked to all the founders too and said, you know what, this is a supportive environment of investors, advocates, and other founders who are supporting them through their entrepreneurial journey. So chat it up all the time. We have a couple of moderators in there to remind you of a couple things, like to vote. So we have the Audience Choice Award today. So over on the vote button, you can, at the very end, because it has all of the founders listed, you can vote for your favorite founder. And today, oh my gosh, they are all so good. I don't know who's going to win because all of them are amazing. So we have 6 wonderful founders to go up on the stage, the virtual stage today. Thank you for joining us again. I think that is all the, I'm getting a lot of like notifications. I want to make sure I said everything. And I want to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Sylvia Ma. I'm the founder of Stella Labs. We have a team that is working behind the scenes so amazingly well during the summit. We have Raven O'Neill, who is our executive director for Stella Labs. I mostly volunteer as the co-chair person of the board that Raven so awesomely leads. And then Christine Lustig is our amazing event director for the Women's Fast Pitch and the summit, and a crew of tech and advocators, tech people and advocators on the background that are just doing wonderful things. So without further ado, we're going to start the event. And thank you for watching that video. We want to get you all jazzed up. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the judges that we have on the line. And you'll see them kind of come in the next couple of minutes as in your screen. So I'm going to kind of be one of many little boxes, right? It's a little piece to get them all onto the Zoom call. So the first judge that we have is Aruj Sheikh. I said that wrong, probably. Sheikh. And this is a founding, she is a former founder turned venture capitalist. She previously founded Fuse 8, a real estate tech startup based in Austin, Texas, before transitioning into venture capital. As a keynote speaker, advisor, and soon to be author, she's working towards empowering world-changing ideas. You'll see like that theme of all of these judges. Her story has been featured in books alongside individuals like the likes of Mark Cuban and Ray Dalio. So welcome, Aruj. Thank you for being part of the judges panel. And the
Thank you
next
so
one
much for
is
having me.
Kim Seals. Thank you for joining us, Kim. We love to have, you know, representation in the region that we have. So the Jump Fund, if you are don't know the Jump Fund in the Southeast, you've got to know them. They are just doing a great amount of good work. I've had a mentor at the Jump Fund forever, Christina Montague. So Kim Seals, thanks. She is the managing partner of Jump Fund, and the Jump Fund is, and I'm reading it because I need to have my cheat sheets. The Jump Fund is a women-led micro VC firm investing in female-led ventures across the Southeast US. Our investors and fund managers understand that investment in early stage ventures, early stage ventures led by women have greater potential to produce higher returns and are historically underfunded. So the Jump Fund started in 2013 and has not like missed a beat. So thank you, Kim, for being part of today.
Happy to be here.
Wonderful, thank you. And then we have Carrie. She served as a judge last week. So thank you, Carrie, for coming back again. Carrie Farah is a brand and marketing maven at Stated Marketing, but she's also a woman of SDAC. So I reached out to the women of San Diego Angel Conference, and she said, you know what, I'll sign up. But I love how she says in her about page, says, where there's a flicker, there can be a flame. Any small marketing endeavor can go from good to great with the right story, a splash of enthusiasm, and exceptional execution. And you'll hear tonight exceptional execution by these founders. And again, the theme is her passion is to find the insight that leads to big ideas. So thank you, Carrie, for being part of today. And last but not least, we have Cecilia Castello. She is one of the San Diego Angel Conference angel investors, who was an aspiring angel investor about 2 years ago, and now she's really becoming that angel investor, advocating for underserved, underrepresented minority founders in San Diego, in Orange County, and just a dear friend of mine. And she also has this thing of making this world a better place. And her little quote is, well-being agent of change in international business in the and also in the US. So welcome, Cecilia, today. So thank you all of the judges for being part of today. And I wanted to introduce you to all of the founders, and it's just a short 1-minute video. Give me a second to share my screen, and hopefully I can call it up. Give me 1 second so that you can get to know them, because they are amazing individuals and they deserve to have a fabulous video that shows them at their best. So give me 1 second. I will share my screen. Wonderful. There you go. I'm going to share it now. You'll see my screen. So wonderful. Now that you know who they are, we will start with their pitches, and they will be giving their pitch, and you'll be seeing their pitch decks, which look amazing. And you'll see them also giving their pitch on a little square at the either right or left. I can't remember how it rotates and all that. So, letting you know that they have 3 minutes, and then the judges will ask questions. Okay, judges, are you ready? Wonderful. So the order is, the first one up is CPRWRAP. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Felicia Jackson. I'm the inventor and CEO of CPRWRAP. In 2002, I almost lost my baby to a choking incident. I was working in the medical field and CPR certified, but instead of doing what I was trained to do, I froze. Thankfully, my husband was there and he was able to save our son. But it was then I realized, if this could happen to me, then I know it's happening to people everywhere. According to the American Heart Association, more than 350,000 out-of-hospital cardiac arrests occur in the United States every year, with 240,000 of those happening in the home. The person most likely to respond to that emergency will be you. It has been proven that CPR provided immediately after cardiac arrest could double or even triple a victim's chances of survival. But 80% of Americans are reluctant to perform CPR due to a lack of knowledge or a fear of causing harm. This is why I invented CPRWRAP. Our patented disposable CPR template protects and guides any non-medical responder during CPR. CPRWRAP has an attached one-way valve mouth barrier for rescue breathing, visual hand placements for proper compressions, and simple instructions that can be translated into any language for global usage. They come in adult, child, and infant sizes with a price point of $14.99. Our competitors are the makers of battery-operated and pneumatic-driven devices, like the Zoll Pocket CPR or the AutoPulse. These devices either require certification to use, they're costly, or can only be used on victims 8 years and older. The CPR medical device industry is a $185 billion market. By implementing our go-to-market strategy, we have been able to foster many organizational partnerships, as they include CPRWRAPs in schools, businesses, transportation, and alongside other safety devices. I have put together a team that are experts in their fields of sales, operations, and CPR to help grow CPRWRAP into a globally recognized brand. A CPRWRAP belongs in every classroom, on every airplane, next to every 3.2 million AEDs, and inside of every 2 million first aid kits sold every year. We are on a mission to empower people everywhere to step up and do the most basic, unselfish thing a human can do: save a life. We welcome you to visit us at CPRWRAP.com to get your wrap today to save a life tomorrow. Thank you.
Well done, Felicia, and yay. And your judges that will kind of be leading the discussion are Carrie Farah and Aruj Sheikh. Go ahead.
Great. I'll jump in, Felicia. Lovely to meet you and to see your presentation. Beautiful packaging, by the way, too. Love that. And your story too resonates. I think that just fear of, not knowing what to do. So in your testing and your focus groups, you've obviously got some great partnerships. What would it take to get into something like the American Heart Association, the Red Cross, to become part of their certification process, so that this isn't a one-off, but that's part of their training?
Exactly. So I went to gyms and EMS world, and I met with a lot of people from American Heart Association and the Red Cross, and they like the product, and my product would need to be certified through their channels first. They know about the CPRWRAP, but that just takes a little bit longer. She says the process is a long process, and once it becomes certified by them, then they can put the American Heart logo on our packaging as well. So we are already in discussion about those next steps.
That's fabulous. Yeah, I think that branding and that resonance, being able to, take that from training, because I think you're meant to be, you're given a little mouth guard and other things when you walk away, but that doesn't make you feel safe in doing that. And I love that this would help folks do it. Have you seen, when you train people, have you seen a confidence grow up? Do you have any kind of focus group testing to show that, people are saying, I'm going to raise my hand more and give CPR?
Exactly. From all the CPR training facilities that actually use our product, they give it to their students once they pass the class. That was a great partnership that we've established. And they all say that they either say they wish they would have thought of it, and this would definitely help them remember and not be so hesitant when it's time to do CPR. Retention rate is 2 to 4 months. And then you don't recall what you've learned.
That's fabulous. Aruj?
Hi, so thank you so much for that pitch. It was absolutely fantastic. I really, really love your idea. So my question is, COVID-19 has caused an uptick in at-home healthcare products and services. So what are the implications of this for your company? So for example, do you think that you could capitalize on the consumer opportunity a little bit? Are there people at risk that would like this product at home? What are your thoughts on that? And what are you doing to capitalize on that?
Right. Because of COVID-19, we did have to pivot. In the very beginning, it was a lot of education because people were not worried about, they were worried about catching it and not having toilet paper and water and other. So once that kind of simmered down and we got our content out there, they were aware, COVID is killing people, and more people are not getting CPR because nobody wants to. I know that it's hands only, but once you do compressions, that's blowing out air, right? And so they were, very, very hesitant. But with the incorporation of CPRWRAP, that's making people more aware and more willing to go in and help someone. And we hear that from the responders as well as the trainers.
Great, that's awesome.
Anybody else has any questions of the other judges?
So I can jump in with another question if you like.
Perfect.
So what if there is a malfunction with your product? What are you doing to ensure that liability is not an issue?
Right. So we are really protecting the brand, and we also definitely want to protect the customers and the victim as well. We do carry liability insurance, and once we partner, like we partner with hospitals, we do sign a waiver as well. And if something was to happen, we are like legally, I've done everything that I possibly could do.
Great.
And with the manufacturing as well, we check and check again and check again. But things happen, but we are ready to face whatever.
Great. That's good to hear. Certain companies do have a liability component to them, and it only takes one lawsuit for the company just go downhill. So it's really great to hear that you have that defensibility built into your company.
Wonderful. I think that we're at time. I was timing it, but I started a little bit late, but we're about 5 minutes for question and answer. Anybody else has a quick clarification question? Kim, you went off mute.
Yeah. Hi, Felicia. Good to see you. Wanted to ask about the efficacy of the product and how you've determined that it's effective in improving the outcomes of those who have a need for this product.
Right. So we have in the packaging, as well as what on the website, we tell people if you have to use it, please let us know. So we're basing it off of case by case. We haven't received any intel yet that anyone's ever used CPRWRAP during a actual incident, but we did go to physicians, cardiac doctors, respiratory doctors, and people within American Heart and the Red Cross that are experts in this, that have seen and used every tool imaginable, and they've tested it themselves. And then we also do testing within our manufacturer, vessel strength of the product, the mouth barrier, all of that. We tested everything.
Great, thank you.
Wonderful question and answer. Thank you, Felicia, so much for this is such a great product. Thank you for coming on stage with us and inspiring us to really think about how do we save a life, what are the products out there and the market that you're going into. So thank you so much. Well done. And I'm going to give the judges a little bit of time. They're actually using another judging platform than the voting. So they're using Rocket Judge, just so that everybody knows that we have all these judges wonderfully putting in their scores at the end of each pitch. And then after all the pitches are gone through, we will have a judge's deliberation room and deliberate while we have a guest speaker who is Anna Bermudez, who is the CEO and founder of Tagit. So hopefully you will stay throughout all of the pitches. We have such an amazing crew of female founders today. So we have 5 more to go. Is LuvSims in the house? We'll see. I know that takes a while to move everybody around. And judges, are you all set for the next person who will be going forwards? Yes? Yes? Okay, perfect. Aruj, you're good? Okay, good. I know that this is the first time that you're using this app, so I just wanted to make sure I give you a little bit more time during this time. And we will have Roshunda now start your pitch. Roshunda, you can share your screen, and Roshunda is the CEO and founder of LuvSims.
Hi, everyone. So LuvSims Shaving is a lifestyle beauty brand that's focused on changing the narrative around shaving and skincare. This brand was created to empower women overall, basically giving women a decision to shave or not to shave, to stay hairy or be smooth. Sorry, having some issues with moving. We're gonna move forward. The solution overall is all-inclusive patent pending razor paired with ethically sourced organic products that are made for all humans all over. The problem that we're all facing is basically the razor cap. We're always losing this razor cap. And what happens to our razors? It's filled with gunk, it's dirty, and therefore the conventional razors don't last long. And then also the skincare lifestyle needs are not being met. This brand is established to set up the skincare needs before shaving, during the shaving process, and after. And shaving tools are just not user-friendly. And overall, women deserve better. So our premier product is a patent-pending, secure, protected razor cartridge. It's going to last 2 times longer than the travel razor. It's going to provide a closer shave and an overall improved handle. Basically, no more plastic cap, and therefore no more dirty razors to have to deal with. Our product expansions will include pre-shaving body scrub, a shaving oil, soap and body wash, body oil, and eventually moving into a men's shaving skincare products. And all of our products are going to be formulated to help with razor bumps, ingrown hairs, and even skin tone. The market opportunity is great in the shaving industry. The shaving industry is a $11.2 billion industry with the overall expected CAGR 9% growth by 2025. And we are launching into a $13.5 million women of color. Then we're going to expand into other target markets. Our business model will include direct to consumer, retail, subscription, B2B2C, which will include Target, of course, hopefully, Hilton, Shopify, Urban Outfitters. Our overall revenue projections in 2021, we're expected to do a growth of when we launch around 500,000, with ending in 2024 around 15 million, with a customer acquisition cost of $15, a lifetime value of $600, and then a monthly recurring revenue of 80% based on our subscription model. Well, that's it, guys. LuvSims Shaving, I believe, is uniquely positioned to be an all-inclusive shaving skincare brand. This product and the brands and the other things that we are offering is something that no other brands is offering in the market. We're here to assist ladies to be, if you want to be hairy or if you want to be smooth. Thank you.
Well done, Roshunda. Well done. I love it. So your judges who are going to be asking your questions is Kim Seals and Cecilia Castello. And we're going to keep with just the 2 judges for question and answer so that we can go through the pitches a little bit faster. So thank you.
Hi, Roshunda, it's Kim. Thank you so much for your pitch. That was great. I'd like to talk a bit about the customer acquisition piece of this. And And you mentioned they have a lifetime value. I think you said around, did you say $600? Is that what you said?
Yes, $600.
So is this going to be a monthly subscription box? Will this be something where they just order as they need it? Talk to us about how you plan to create that ongoing sustainable relationship with the customer.
It'll be a bit of both, because we'll have a subscription model based on women who want to be hairy or women who want to be shaved. And also, if you just say, hey, I just want the razors. So on a monthly basis, I'm going to have the razors. So it's based on that direct to consumer and also that monthly subscription. But majority of it is on that monthly subscription of being hairy or smooth and giving women a choice.
All right. And if you think about your competition in this space and how you want to set yourself apart, where do you see, I know you mentioned a few things in your deck around a closer shave and the lack of the need for the cap. You know, where do you see your real competitive advantage that's going to drive consumers to your product over your competitors?
Being all inclusive. Because as you know, when we go into the shaving industry, some people just offer, some of my competitors, we're going to offer a razor, we're going to offer shaving oil, and we're going to have a little bit of cream for you. Mine is going to help the before shaving, offering the body scrub with assist the skin, and then during the shaving process, or maybe you don't want to shave at all, and also after, because we've all experienced razor bumps, ingrown hairs, so it makes no sense to go to another competitor when we can be all inclusive in understanding a woman's needs.
Sure, last question, and then I'll turn over to Cecilia. Talk to us about your profitability by the way you choose to sell it. You know, do you think you'll be more profitable in one retail, for example, versus mail order? How have you looked at the profitability aspect?
Due to the fact that we are a startup, I'm looking at just going direct to consumer first with the first year and then going into retail, because I do understand that I have to build a brand. So my brand has to be established to make sure that when I go into like a Target or going to B2B2C, that brand is recognizable, that it can grow. So we're gonna have a very strong marketing campaign to be able to bring our customers in and establish a community of women to say, we love LuvSims because how they love us.
Thank you. Cecilia?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Roshunda. Great presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very curious to know, how did you come up with the idea?
So, I'm a project manager, and so I used to travel quite a bit when I lived in Texas. And one of the things, just going to meetings, meeting different people all over the state of Texas, I would have disposable razors, and I would have my favorite razor at home. And I was like, man, every time I go into my travel bag, my razor has all this gunk in it, and I can't find the freaking cap. So it was something like, it would be cool to have something that folds in, can go with me, but then I still have these needs where I just don't feel like shaving right now. I'm just going through a period, I just don't want to do it. And so I was tired of having all these different products, because some products I liked and then I had to go to another brand. How about if I just start with one product that one brand that I love that can take me through the entire process and just stay with me?
Okay, so you saw that need in you, and then you kind of went from there.
Built it from there, yes.
And you mentioned something about men, also products for men.
Yes.
So how men is coming into the picture, because you have been talking a lot about women.
Well, once again, we're still for all mankind. So even though right now we're focusing solely on women, we're definitely looking to expand in the men's grooming market, because that market is exploding right now. And so that is something that we definitely tap into with, of course, facial scrubs, body scrubs, because men are doing that as well. They're shaving, men are shaving their chest hairs, they're shaving their legs. So they're doing things that might not be the norm, it's just their face, but they're stepping out and doing more to their body. And so I'm here for it.
So this razor is only for women, legs, arms, and whatever, not for men?
Not now, no, just for women, yes. This prototype, this phase is only be for women.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Roshunda, you did a great job in all the question and answer. You got some high level questions and some nitty gritty questions, and well done. We're really excited for you. Thank you so much. So now we're going to move on to the next pitch. Thank you, Roshunda.
Thank you.
And judges, again, you know where to judge, and on your phone. And also for the audience out there on YouTube, vote in that button on the left-hand side and chat it up. So chat up. This is a supportive environment. Chat about the founder who's pitching. If you have any suggestions on, hey, I have a mentor that would really be great for you, or I can help you with this, or hey, I have some customers that could help you test. anything is there. And the more that we can chat it up and support each other, the more that we can get these founders their next step, right? Everybody has their individual next step. So just that's a shout out for that. Jacqueline, you're here. Wonderful. So excited to hear all about what you're doing. And so this is Greentop. And Jacqueline, I will give you the floor. You just have to share your screen with your pitch deck.
Awesome. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am Jacqueline Rogers, and I am the founder of Greentop Gifts. This is my family, my husband, Sean, my son, Elijah, and my daughter, Cameron. And my story really starts with my son, Elijah. In 2015, I looked online and in stores for wrapping paper with a black Santa Claus, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I quickly realized that the options were limited, and then I decided I'll just make my own. If 2020 has taught us anything, is that representation does matter. People want to see themselves in the products that they use. Gift wrap and stationery lack diversity, and options for families of color were very limited. For children, it's important for them to see themselves in the products they use, and the television shows they watch, and the stories that they read. And it's not just important for children of color, but it's important for all children to see diverse images. So I wanted my son to see a black Santa Claus, and I thought it was important for him to see these images. So I took my over decade experience in CPG, working at both Mars Wrigley and Nestle, and took my business acumen to create gift wrap, apparel, and stationery, and Clarence was born. Now, if we look at the market, did you know that in 2019, $8.5 billion was spent on wrapping paper? My husband has a background in finance, and I can tell you that this was the data point that got him on board. And to think, there were no options. So we look at our products. Since 2016, we've sold over 30,000 units and shipped over 7,000 orders to all 50 states. Our products were sold online, and earlier this year, we were invited to Target's corporate headquarters to present our products to their category buying team. Now, how do we get clearance from house to house? We do that through print, television, and radio, social media, and partnerships. Clarence has been featured on NBC News. He's even traveled to Hawaii to Oprah's house during Christmas. This past year, we partnered with Essence Magazine and Target for their first annual holiday market. Now, when we look at our team, it's made up of my husband and I with backgrounds in business and finance. We also contract out our general counsel, public relations, fulfillment, graphic design, and social media management. So, as we wrap things up, I want you to know that Greentop Gives, our focus is on bringing love, joy, and family to all that we do. We're open to retail partnerships and bringing on interested investors. And yes, we sell gift wrap and apparel, but bringing diversity to all of your celebrations is at the core of all that we do. Thank you.
Fantastic, Jacqueline. Thank you so much. What a great presentation. And it was very smooth. And so that's wonderful. The judges who will be asking the questions is Kim Seals and Carrie Farah.
Carrie, you want to start us off?
Sure. I love this. I think I love Clarence. He's a delight to see. And, you know, holidays are such a big thing too, right? And that personalization, the market is there. I mean, as you said, 2020 is time for so many different things, but the seasonality and that joy and looking for traditions is fabulous. I see you've got a, kind of a holiday centric line right now. How do you plan to kind of, beat the seasonality of this and look at, a product line that's going to endure throughout the year?
It's a great question. We are interested in expanding and growing and working on that now. So holidays outside of just Christmas, because we understand everyone doesn't celebrate Christmas, right? But we also everybody doesn't believe in Mr. Claus. So we want to expand to birthdays. We want to expand to baby showers. There's a void in the market of all of those. When you go into the retail store, next time you're in there all with your mask, look at the category and see. There's such an opportunity there, and we want to expand into digital content. I've got so many ideas and things that we want to do. We're working on some now, but yes, we want to expand year round so that we also don't lose our customer base.
Fabulous. And just as a kind of a lean on that too, I mean, your price point as well, do you have enough margins in there? It looks like you're a competitive price point with other gift wrap, but some ones, and I think there was even one on a former Shark Tank where, the gift wrap was almost exceeding the cost of the gift. So are you seeing any, plays with that and being able to make yourself profitable?
Yes, we have, our margins are within like 60% for our gift wrap. It's made in the US. The option for us to scale and grow, we have a manufacturer that we're really confident that can meet our scale if we got a retail option. So we're comfortable with our margins, including our shipping.
Fabulous. Kim?
Sure, I'd like to follow up on that because I had a question about scale as well. And are you manufacturing in the US? Do you feel like you have the long-term sustainable solution for how you would produce, especially if you started to go year-round rather than with Christmas?
Yes, we have a manufacturer that's based in the US that we've worked with since the very beginning. We've been keeping up with them because yes, they manufacture in the US, but raw materials are also an issue now, especially with COVID. So we stay in constant contact with them, and they are able to scale to larger retails and meet their requirements with FSI and fortified forest materials, recyclable paper. So we are able to scale with our current manufacturer. If we decided we wanted to go overseas, yes, for another option to decrease the margin, but for right now, we want to keep it in the US as much as we can.
For the revenue that you've gotten so far, talk to us about which products have been most successful and what you've learned about what the real product opportunity here is. What are people most looking to buy from you right now?
So since we first started, when we launched, we only had 2 SKUs, and that was our classic papers. And since then, now we've expanded to 23 SKUs and hopefully 24 in the next few weeks. And with those items, wrapping paper was our core. That's what I wanted for myself, for my son. And then we started to make apparel because people saw us promoting Clarence at events and marketing. And people were like, oh, I want those shirts. And so we went into marketing and selling t-shirts and apparel. But right now, the core of our business is gift wrap. And then gift bags were something that people kept asking me for and they really wanted. Those we do get manufactured overseas. And that was one of the challenges of like working with an overseas manufacturer, learning that, hoping you don't wake up and see your product on Alibaba. So we've done it. It's worked for us so far. So we've worked in season in the US and out, but definitely want to expand. People have been asking for pajamas, and that's something that we're working on too.
Have you looked at all of the business model of becoming a product line of a bigger gift wrap entity, right? Assuming that there are others out there that do this on a mass scale, had they expressed any interest in bringing your solution on as one of their product lines where they keep it, keep the brand separate and distinct, but be a part of the bigger family?
Great question. I'm a paper snob. I love stationery. So yes, Paper Source, Papyrus, Hallmark, those are companies that we look at, and they have some small products, but nothing that really reflects Clarence. When we started, there wasn't anyone that had it. Last year, Target did release 2 SKUs, one that had like a white Santa and a black Santa on the same roll. So we would love, we went to visit Target in February, had an opportunity to talk with their buying team, but because of the windows for retail, for seasonality, we had missed the 2020 cutoff. So we're hoping for an opportunity to go back and talk with them for 2021. So fingers are crossed.
Great. Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. There's so much to Clarence and to Greentop Gifts. So thank you, judges. And I'll give you a little bit of time to put in your scores for this founder, and just some other notes of for the website, and make sure that you're voting, chatting it up, supporting, connecting actually people through LinkedIn. So that's another way to kind of connect with the judges that we have today and the founders that are pitching right now. Connect with them, ask your questions, and of course, like as an investor myself, if you are an investor, put money down. So put money down onto founders and make sure that you make those great investments. So without further ado, Michelle, I see you on. And Michelle, do you mind putting just your BIOMILQ next to your name, just so that we know and the judges have an easier time to remember, okay, which one are we seeing now? So thanks, Michelle, so much. Yeah, thank you so much. And judges, are you all set with your scores for that last one? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so Michelle, go ahead. You can share your screen and display your pitch.
Perfect. Great. You're all able to see and hear me, I hope.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly well. Perfect. Thanks.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for the opportunity to talk to you today. I'm here from BioMilk. I'm the CEO, where we're making human milk for babies. A little about me, I'm a food scientist by training that's worked in dairy commercialization and fermentation for the past number of years, and really saw the opportunity to have more global impact and scale by looking upstream in how we thought about infant nutrition. At a time where I came out of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I was especially passionate in finding new and innovative ways to think about infant formula. And through a mutual friend, had the opportunity to meet Layla, who had been a breastfeeding mother herself, PhD cell biologist, and come up with the innovation to actually produce human breast milk outside of the body using human mammary epithelial cells, so similar to the breast cells that come out of your human mammary glands. And so what we're doing is actually creating a product with the nutrition of breast milk, but the practicality of formula. And we use that phrase practicality because we don't think any parent, any mother is making a trade-off because it's easier to use infant formula or because it's the easy way out or convenient. It's really because the realities of being a modern parent are really hard. For a lot of people, breastfeeding is really challenging. And while a beautiful experience can offer a number of trade-offs that have to be made in both income, earning potential, work and time off, and just the ability to bond with your child. We're able to use our patent pending process to create human mammary epithelial cells basis, which actually can grow the milk directly, just as it would be grown in the human body.
Michelle,
And
I don't think I can see your pitch. Can everybody else see their pitch? Just want to make sure. Yeah. I know before you go on.
come on.
You were very like, we were enthralled with your
You don't even
story.
need
So
slides. You don't even need slides. You didn't
yeah,
miss
so
much is the good
whatever
news.
you want to start, if you want to start all over or you can go whatever you want to do.
I do not need to start over. It's not a problem.
Okay, perfect.
You didn't miss much, to be honest, from a slides perspective. But really, I think the important note is, obviously, we're all women or mostly women on this call. I don't have to do a lot of convincing to you why breastfeeding and infant formula and the dichotomy and emotional challenges we see in that space are really challenging. And yet it's a growing, booming market. We know that this market's not going to go away anytime soon. We see that there are market drivers to create $71 billion of value with 9.5% CAGR year over year. And that has to do with that women are having children later, they have better access to family planning, and they have opportunities to have better education, which we're seeing because of that. They have more opportunities in the workforce, but also are having a harder time balancing exclusive breastfeeding in the first 6 months of life. Only about 16% of moms are meeting that hurdle as recommended by the World Health Organization today. And because of that, we see studies continually showing, and by word of mouth and talking to other mothers, incredible amounts of shame, guilt, stigma, and cognitive dissonance around how to feed a child and the decisions you have to make. And that comes from the fact that we know breast milk is fundamentally and scientifically superior, which really we can get into in detail of product. So when we think about actually what BioMilk is doing today, we're able to take human mammary epithelial cells from a specific woman or man, the gender of the cells actually doesn't matter, and stimulate them in a manner similar to how they would produce milk inside the body, but outside of the body. So this means the cells actually grow in a 3D conformation, which enables us to feed them the media and hormones that they require for growth, just as they would in the body with blood, and secrete milk out the other side, never intermixing the two. We're able to take a cell sample at a prenatal appointment, grow it up in about 6 weeks in a proprietary bioreactor and process internally, and ship a custom milk sample direct to your door, either pre-birth or at the beginning of the feeding journey you have with your child. This means that we can grow the milk under sterility, package under sterility, and sell shelf stable in a full pre-blended form to be able to provide the 2,500 plus micro and macronutrients that are vital for the immunological, cognitive development, and muscle growth that we see in children. And so with that, I know I'm running low on time, so I'll move right to, we hope that you've latched on. I'm happy to talk a little bit more through our approach on our D2C marketplace. I'm sure you may have questions technologically to cover off on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I am behind on my timing. So the two judges that are, I'm trying to expand my timing here. Just want to make sure. Who were the ones? Here we go. Cecilia and Kim Seals. Yes, thank you, Kim. I wasn't looking at the screen. Go ahead, Kim.
Sure. Hi, Michelle. Thanks. Great pitch. I'm curious. I have a couple of questions around sort of the product market fit aspect. And do you have any paying customers today that have given you feedback on this solution?
Great question. So we can't actually sell until we have FDA regulatory approval. We're feeding the most precious beings on earth. So you have to go through a pretty distinct regulatory pathway. But we've been doing over we're at about 50 consumer interviews now directly with mothers, assessing willingness to pay, value proposition, and for them, especially format of the product. There's a lot of ingrained behavior now around receiving, a powdered or lyophilized product that then has to be rehydrated. And so really thinking through, how does this product need to arrive? What's the price point it needs to arrive at? And what's the functionality it needs to serve? All moms want to know they're just making a good nutritional decision for their children, but there's obviously a lot of consumer behavior around this that we're really trying to evaluate to make sure that we can meet mothers where they are for this product.
Sure. So will you be doing the 510K process, or do you have to do the longer FDA approval?
So we are not going through any kind of phase 1 through 3 trialing is the good news. We're still determining whether we will come to market as an infant formula versus a supplemental food product. It depends somewhat on how you want to be able to talk about the product to consumers. And it also depends on the regulatory tests that are done and basically the number of children that you include in a study. So the good news is my founder has a lot of pharma experience, and my co-founder, I have a lot of food regulatory experience. So we're working with regulatory consultation and have a pretty robust strategy about how to approach the FDA, what data we need in place. And we really use the guiding force of Layla's a current mom. I hope to be a mom in the next few years. And so what are the tests as an educated female scientist that I would want to know have been done on a product before I'd ever consider feeding them to my own kids?
Sure. Last question, then I'll turn over to Cecilia. What did you learn in the focus groups about the price point of $1,300 per month? And what did you learn about the mother's reaction to what might seem to be sort of an environmentally engineered milk versus, growing, anytime we talk about growing cells, right? A lot of people are probably like, I don't really understand that. So I'm curious what your focus groups taught you.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like pigs flying to a lot of moms. But to be honest, I think even if a mother doesn't see a product necessarily fitting her because she had adequate milk supply or it's not something she's interested in, we've seen even on online social media platforms, mother groups that otherwise would not be supportive of our product, there's always 1 or 2 moms that stand up and say, no, but we need better solutions. So even if this isn't the cell-based solution for you, you don't maybe trust the technology or you don't understand and are scared, we have to be realistic that modern innovation has not been applied to women's health for far too long, and that we have to be open-minded to think about how we're going to start to push the boundaries to really solve the problems that women and babies are experiencing. So in general, we actually receive much more love than hate. And honestly, receiving both, I think, just says how much passion there is for this space and what a divisive issue, what a problem it really is to solve. On your first part of the question around price point, $1,300 a month for a subscription fee for infant formula probably sounds horrifying to many mothers. We worry a lot about accessibility and thinking about how we can be paid for by insurance or come through another payer benefit program to have wider accessibility both here in the US and beyond. But it's actually price parity to the top end of infant formula pricing today. So parents who are already buying HIP or Hala, which is GMO-free, natural organic cows-based formula, which is nutritionally subpar, even in comparison to our product, but is the most premium thing on the market, is about $1.78 an ounce. So if you're feeding even just 75% of your feeding occasions, you're able to get to that price point quite quickly. And so we're able to offer a superior offering at a very similar price point to what's already being paid in the market.
Great, thank you. Cecilia, over to you.
Hi, Michelle, congratulations. Thank you. I really like the presentation. I love the idea. I feel this is a disruptive idea, and I love it for that. So keep on working on that. I think it's a long way yet, but I am very, very excited about this idea to have. I have 4 kids of my own. I breastfed all. I had twins, the first ones. So it was very hard for me to keep the supply of the milk. Having this as a help will be a great, and having that knowledge that it comes from yourself. The piece here, it will be the educational part. The mothers to really understand what is going on. On a science base where you're doing. But I feel it's a great idea. I saw on the pitch also that you're thinking about launching this in 5 years. Can you explain a little bit more about the process?
Yeah, so we're ready to commercialize likely in about 1.5 to 2 years. It's really that regulatory pathway that's going to take longer. So in an optimistic world, we'd say 3 years to market. but we are both trained scientists originally by our backgrounds. And so we're kind of an under promise, over deliver type of team. So we've given ourselves the runway and fundraising timeline to be able to get it to market in what we think would be the extreme case for approvals, with the hope that we're able to accelerate more on the front end. It's interesting. I understand that for many other mothers, I'm sure there would be a lot of questions on how are you doing this? And technologically, it does seem quite far out, but we're using fundamental technology we've used for biologics production for drug immunotherapies since the 80s. So we're really just pulling an application that has deep study and deep tech into a different sector of expertise with different patentability and kind of application landscape. And so we're working from a basis that, while it sounds a bit crazy, it's actually technologically pretty close in. It's really optimizing for the appropriate nutritional profile and for the safety and efficacy that we require to be able to meet the hurdles in this country, that we're giving ourselves that extra padding and time.
Wonderful. Any other questions? I think we're out of time. I know it's very hard to talk about a very complicated scientific process in layman's terms, so you did fantastic. Thank you so much.
And apologies that I didn't get the slides right up. You would think.
Oh, no. You did amazing. I said, take your time. You did amazing. It's that's what it is to kind of be an entrepreneur. You take the punches, you go ahead, you did fantastic. Don't worry.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. So judges, now's your time to put in the votes. Also, audience members, I need to put it out there. Vote, 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 vote all the way through, and chat it up. This is a supportive environment, so we're really excited. I asked my team, what else can I do to kind of expand the time? So reminders that this event happens every Tuesday at 3 p.m. of the region we're at. So so pick the region next. All of the regions are Northwest, Midwest, Southwest, and San Diego that are coming up. So these amazing founders are all in the Southeast. And so we're really excited to support them all the way from San Diego. So Adia, are you ready to give your pitch?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you, and then you can just share your screen for your pitch deck.
Oh, I did. Did it come up?
Let's try it again.
Okay. Sorry. All right, here we go.
I still don't see your deck, but let's see. And while she's bringing up the thing, her pitch, make sure that you're already on YouTube on our page. And I know the judges don't see the YouTube page, only if you have it on another piece of your computer. But make sure that you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell on YouTube to stay up on all of our events. Share this event on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. These founders that are pitching right now, like Adia or Adia?
Ada.
Oh, Ada. Oh, I'm Latina. I'm like Adia, like do this, right? Sorry about that. We need to support them. And the more that we can share what's going on and screencasts and stuff like that, please, please, please share and use a hashtag 2020 WVS or hashtag Women's Venture Summit 2020 and hashtag Rise and Shine. So rise, Adia. Ada, yes, Ada, go ahead. You have the floor.
All right, good afternoon. Imagine walking through a department store for generations and never finding a brand or product that aligns with who you are. For generations, people of color have experienced this when they go to their favorite department store. So this is why Floor Plan was created. Floor Plan is a retail concept that adopts the imagery of Instagram, changes periodically, and allows emerging brands to collaborate and co-activate. In short, Floor Plan provides brick and mortar space for minority-owned brands. So before COVID, it was projected that retail as an event was going to make $2.73 trillion, but life happened. And before that, in 2019, we saw a lot of the big box stores closings, from Macy's
to Toys R Us, to Kmart, to Sears. And so even though retail as an event was going to make all this money, all the big box stores were going to close, were projected to close. So the problem that we saw for minority-owned brands is that they were having a hard time collecting data on experiential events. The communication method was off between a big retailer trying to figure out how they can open space for minority-owned brands and the fixed infrastructure. If a brand wanted to have their own lease, would that bankrupt their business? So currently, Floor Plan has two themes, a beauty bodega and the return. A beauty bodega carries 12 emerging beauty brands from around the country, and the return carries 7 streetwear brands who are based here in Atlanta. Our solution: development, collaboration, and product adoption. Create a cool mixed-use, sustainable shipping container, collaborate with startup brands, and then provide an experience for the customer and the brand's owner to have an experience with each other. How it works: Floor Plan creates the theme. We work with brands who are really good at online, but don't mind having a brick and mortar space, and as well as the product adoption, bringing that curated event to a store. That could be live painting, that could be esthetician, that could be a chemist who makes products in that store who can tell you about your face. That all combines. So our competition: Citizen Supply, Neighborhood Goods, and Story. Neighborhood Goods and Citizen Supply have big VC backing. Story is the only one that was sold to Macy's because Macy's saw that people want experiences when they shop. Out of all of the three, we were the only ones providing space for minority-owned brands until recently due to what's going on in the world. So how do we make money? We have a marketplace. We take 20 to 50% of commission, plus we do a monthly fee, but due to COVID, we have reduced that fee. Sponsorship: we thought that it would be great if brands could come and provide an access space for emerging brands. And then subscription boxes, bringing that Floor Plan experience to your home. So what does that look like? Currently, the roadmap in 2019, we opened a beauty bodega. In February 2020, we opened the return. And then COVID hit and we had to switch both stores to online, which was okay because in May, we released our beauty bodega Mother's Day box, which sold out. In June, we teamed up with a local artist here to design a Father's Day box. And then in September, we're looking to do the painted coat and the tie-dye box, which basically give you things that you can learn how to tie-dye while you're home while supporting that brand. In 2021-22, we're looking to provide more shipping container spaces for more brands and put them around the city and maybe in a different state. So the team is myself and my co-founder, Rachel Jackson. Rachel has experience in entertainment. My past background, I used to do pop-up shops for emerging brands in Africa. So to bring all these emerging brands from around the country that we recruited over the last 8 months is my life's mission, I believe. So I thank you. Floor Plan's mission, again, is blending culture and changing retail. Thank you.
Hi, so I'll go ahead and jump in. So great pitch. Ada, nice to meet you. So quick question. So have you thought about, pivoting with COVID? So what's projected is that COVID will come in waves. So there will be, during the winter seasons, it's expected to increase. During the summer seasons, due to humidity, it's expected to decrease. So have you thought about marketing this from a standpoint of month-to-month leases, similarly to how there are companies that provide month-to-month leasing for apartments or co-working spaces such as DeskPass? So what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I do think that since our shipping container is only 180 square feet, not a lot of space, and an emerging brand could pay $300 just to be here for a month if they cater to whatever their audience and they need it for. So we do see the shipping containers as being an easy in and out lease situation, as well as if the park or the land that we're at says you gotta go, we can pick the container up and take it somewhere else.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think that, you know, as much as people like me love online shopping, and yes, I do, I think that it doesn't replace going into a shop, having a conversation with a person that's, you know, salesperson, touching a fabric. You know, I think that this is a really great way for retail companies to still be able to provide a safe in-person option. So I think, again, you know, trying to pivot and market it a little bit as, you know, month-to-month leases, I think that could be very good on the business side of things. Another quick question is, what are your current plans for making sure that it's sanitary and safe for people to use?
So since it is only 180 square feet, we only allow 2 people in.
Okay.
So, of course, masks. We have a hand sanitizer. Of course, I always talked about the experience. Since a lot of our brands have a professional background in medicine, or we can also say, hey, how can I protect my face as well as I'm wearing a mask?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Having that type of event where it's one-on-one and it's not crowded at all. Of course, people also can schedule times to visit as well.
Great. Well, one more note, I would absolutely love to see you guys at an event like South by Southwest. It seems like it would be a fantastic fit. Tons and tons of events of brands are hosting events, you know, sponsoring things like this and pop-ups. So I think that you having this available as a service would be an absolutely great thing for helping brands to do this. So yeah, good job.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. And the other judge that was going to ask questions was Cecilia, but I know she had a hard time getting on. So I don't know if you're ready for our questions, Cecilia, or I have Kim also has some questions. Okay, no problem. So
Yes.
Kim, do you have any questions for this founder?
I do. Great presentation. Really enjoyed hearing more about this. And I'd love to learn more about the gift box thing you did for Mother's Day and Father's Day. You mentioned it was $100 a box and that you sold out. So what's the price point of the items in the box that you sold for $100? And then how did you split that with the vendors, right? So I saw earlier what your pricing model was. I wasn't sure if that was applicable to that box.
Oh, so there are 12 brands inside the store, and we asked all the brands for their wholesale prices instead of us doing the commission that we normally do. And the highest item here is $55, and the lowest item here is $5.
Okay.
And so we asked, after, you know, talking about how much it's been for us to get the box together, ship the box, we felt like having 12 really good products that the price range is that $100 box, we could have a little bit of the return. We also decided to do this 4 days before Mother's Day, as I'm going to say that as an entrepreneur, as we were trying to figure out what we're going to do pre-COVID. And it showed us that people were like, oh, last minute for their mothers to get their gift, and as well as we were shipping it in time as well. So we only allowed 3 days worth of sales to go, and then we cut it off so that we can make we said we want to make your Mother's Day by Sunday, and gratefully all the packages did. Now the Father's Day box, that one was priced in 3 tiers. Because the prices, that box featured the Return, which is the streetwear store, and clothing has a higher amount compared to some beauty brands. So we had to do commission off of those boxes because we couldn't afford everybody's wholesale cost.
Sure. So do you anticipate, has this shown you anything about your business model? Do you think there's a sort of a Fab Fit Fun type ongoing model, or do you think we might do that for special occasions, but we really want to stick with this sort of retail experience? I love the idea of the container, by the way. I think that's just so creative in terms of space and your ability to be flexible about where you are. So, you know, curious about what you're thinking for scaling purposes.
So regarding the boxes, we don't necessarily want it to be a subscription box. We really want it to be like an experience box. That's why we've decided to team up with a brand that's already in our store. It's called the Painted Coat, and she specializes in tie-dye. Anything you want to tie-dye. So for us to do a kit and provide that experience for our customers or wherever they live, also hits on our mission of providing an experience within the store. The shipping, I still think that retail is still an important part of it. And so we're also playing with the idea of build a box, which means like build a bear. So you come into the store and you build your box, and at least we're still having the box and the brands here, and people can ask us questions and intermingle the two. I hope did that answer your question?
It did. Great. It's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ada, so much for joining us today. You did great in your pitch and great question and answer. Love your, support of other small businesses, especially at a time like this, that small business matters, right? Thank you so much for all you do. And thank you, judges, for the questions. So we are now down to our last female founder pitch. And I know that it was taking a little bit longer than expected, but we have one more pitch. And judges, I know that you need some time to put in your votes. And I think that I've covered everything that we wanted to let you guys know about. I also wanted to have the bigger announcement that, strategically it is more, it's better to invest in diverse founders, as the Jump Fund always is, talking about it. We are talking about it as well. There is a higher return for these, for investors, for these diverse and tenacious and determined founders. As you've seen in their pitches, they are ready to go and making waves. So without further ado, Quirktastic by Bee Law. Judges, are you all ready with your scores and stuff like that? Perfect. Okay, so yeah, you know how to do it. You screen share and you're ready to go.
Awesome. How is everyone today? And does everyone see my screen all right? Sounds great. Hi, my name is Bee Law, and I'm the founder of Quirktastic. As one of the 76 million people in the United States who participate in the anime and gaming community, I found it hard to find friends who were into the same things that I was into as an adult. After using various other social networking platforms and online forums, I realized really quickly how hard it was to build relationships within this fandom community online, especially when interactions led to gatekeeping and harassment. So after identifying our target audience as the fandom community, such as cosplayers and K-pop fans, we've worked together with our early adopters to build the platform today. The Quirktastic is a social live streaming platform for geeks and hobbyists and a one-stop shop for all things fandom. Upon opening the app, users fill out a profile based on interest and demographic. From there, they can match with friends nearby or friends with similar interests across the world, join interest clubs, or create live streams with new friends called pod chats. So Quirktastic first set out to solve this problem with gatekeeping, as well as being able to find friends by creating all of these different community building features. However, after COVID, we realized that the professional fandom community, such as event organizers of the different comic conventions, as well as voice actors and television networks, were also in need of just different ways to galvanize their community online. So for example, I have here Mr. DJ Taylor Senpai. He is a pretty famous Comic-Con DJ and avid member of the Quirktastic community. And he, during con season, would use Quirktastic to find friends, to tell them about upcoming performances. However, since COVID, he's been able to use our featured pod chats, the group live streaming, to monetize his streams through our platform. So since launching the app in March of 2019, we've grown to over 25,000 monthly active users, and the average user opens our app about 7 times a day and spends about an hour and a half on it per day. As for business model, in the past, we've monetized through e-commerce and brand partnerships. However, we've decided to create an in-app currency that allows users to tip and create their friends, as well as their favorite creators on pod chats. We're also currently partnered with HBO and Warner Brothers to help them promote their new upcoming series, Lovecraft Country and DC Fandom, respectively. We have a full team across product and content marketing. I myself used to work in science, and then once I decided to build Quirktastic, went on to get some experience at Yelp as well as with the Huffington Post. And our team is currently raising $850,000 to focus on growing to about 3 million downloads, which in turn with our business model will lead to about 2.5 million in revenue. And our current investors include SoGal Ventures, WeFunder, and Snapchat. So if you'd like to learn more about how Quirktastic is shaping the future of community building, or to learn more about this round that we're raising, I'd love to talk more. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your wonderful pitch. You did a good job. I love it. Wonderful, wonderful job. So the two judges that you have that are going to be asking questions is Carrie Farah and Aru Sheikh.
Great, I'll jump in. Bee, this is a fabulous presentation, and digging in a little bit to your website and your app. I mean, you've already got incredible engagement partnerships, as you just mentioned. It's great to see the community you've built. So I love that. So I'm kind of a two-part question. One is, what's your stance from Quirktastic as to be a content provider or more of the platform? And depending which way you go, given the current situation, with Facebook and everyone else under this, need to either be policy regulators to enforce, voice and community and moderation, where are you guys going to sit on that? And maybe you've even come up with those issues and having to resolve them right now. So love it. Yeah, the content provider versus creator, and then,
Awesome. Thank you for the question. So previously we did start off as a media company, thinking that that would be the best way to solve the issue, to try to get people to have media to talk about. But then we found out that there are so many other content creators out there that were looking to be amplified, that it just made more sense for us to be more of a platform instead, and then help people facilitate those. So it's not a focus of ours. What we are focused on is the platform. But to your point, there are a few things that have been keeping me up at night that I make sure to focus on. Of course, seeing the things with Twitter and Facebook. So we've taken our security very seriously. We, after the Snapchat investment that we got, we worked with AWS through their Jumpstart program to make sure that our platform was very secure because we do collect a decent amount of data. We also have community guidelines called the Quirk Creed that everyone kind of goes through whenever they do the app, that basically is just against, it just basically shows what we stand for. We're against anyone who is racist, has anything wrong with the LGBT community, and a few other things. I know if we do decide to do advertisement, that will be a whole nother issue that we have to do, similar to what Facebook's doing. So it's on my radar, but we're not there yet. We're focusing more on making sure that everything that we currently allow on the app is just being regulated. So thank you.
Yeah. It's an ongoing challenge, but I love that you're savvy towards it. I'm sure working with Snap too, that they're gonna have some thoughts on how to manage.
Thank you.
Over to you, Aru.
So I think this is a really great idea. The market timing is fantastic. So with apps like TikTok, Twitch, House Party, I think that this is very well positioned because you're starting off in a niche market, and it's a market that you yourself are familiar with. So kudos to that. I think you guys are getting some really great traction initially as for your usage. On that note, I would like to recommend the book Hooked by Nir Eyal. I think that will help you build out the stickiness of your product a little bit further. You guys are on a great path on that right now, so great job on that.
Thank you.
My question for you is, what is your plan to grow your user base? How are you planning on building network effects into your platform? And do you think that there's something you can do to leverage other social media platforms to grow your own user base? So for example, TikTok allows you to share posts, share their content on other platforms. And it's one of the reasons why all of the people that said they wouldn't use TikTok ended up using TikTok anyways. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, great question. Thank you so much for asking it. So you did touch on a few different things, kind of like how we're building out the network effects, as well as how we are planning to grow the community. So we're at a position now to where there are about 30 million tickets sold to Comic-Cons throughout the North America right now, and they're not allowed to have them, but they still want to have that community. So that's why we've been focusing on community building features That way we'll be able to work with these event organizers to where they can get their people on the platform, whether it's for panels or things like that. So that's one way. Also for network effects, most of our growing has been organic. We have spent maybe like $200 or $300 on ads, and they did return well with like a 23-cent CPI. But everything else has been just people sharing. So your point to TikTok, how nobody used it until you saw it on Instagram. One thing that we've been playing around with is just being able to take the pod chats, which are the group live streams. So imagine like an Instagram story, but you could have up to 6 people on it. Just being able to take like short reels or snaps from that, and so that people could share the little clips of their conversations on other platforms. That's the thought that we're playing around with now.
Absolutely, I love it. And I think, you know, similarly to Twitch, people love that live streamed content. So I think there's definitely space for it. I'm super excited to see where you guys go in the next couple of years.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for pitching Quirktastic. You did fantastic. It's just like rhyming. I'm so good.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
All of these founders, I can just attest that they were just so amazing in pitch prep. They changed out their decks in the last couple of days. Thank you, judges, for being part of this wonderful, wonderful time that we have together. So right now, the time is for the judges to go into judges deliberation. You will be put into a judges deliberation room through Zoom, and you know where you are on the platform. But now I would like to introduce, as I go into the judges deliberation room, our guest speaker for today is Anna Bermudez. She is the founder and CEO of Tagit. And the wonderful thing about her is that she was one of the first winners of our fast pitch when we were just in San Diego. So we really want to support the women who have gone through our programs and events. And Anna is one of them that has stuck around for a very long time. So we don't just like have them pitch and then they're done. We keep on helping them. We keep on getting them in front of different investors and syndicating them and investing in them. All of that, we do that through Stella Labs and all of the syndication partners that we have. And we talking about that, I know that we have somebody from last year on the chat. She won our Women's Venture Summit. It's Femily. And thank you, Femily, for being part of the chat. We were just like, oh my gosh, she's on. So it's Ariane Long. She is the CEO and founder of Femily. So thank you for being on the chat and chatting it up. So now I'm gonna go with the judges. Anna, you have the stage, and we will be back with our decision.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today at the WBS Fast Pitch, the Women's Fast Pitch for the Southeast region of the country. My name is Anna Bermudez. I am the founder and CEO of Tagit, the mobile app that TV viewers use to buy items from their favorite TV shows. So we're monetizing ads and product placement right on your phone. And we're very, very excited to have been doing that now since 2013. So that was the first year that the Women's Venture Summit happened here in San Diego. And it was actually, you know, as Sylvia has been mentioning throughout this event, we are a very tight-knit, very supportive community. So when I became an entrepreneur, I wasn't quite sure if that's really what I wanted or if I was running away from my corporate job and all of the insanity that came with that. But it was a couple of friends that I met through a women's event here in San Diego, and they said, hey, there's this event that's happening. It's for women, and it's a summit where entrepreneurs, founders and funders, entrepreneurs and investors come together to learn about each other's businesses, about you know, what investors' portfolios look like, and to really come together so that we could invest in more women. It happened to be on a Saturday, and thanks to those two lovely women who gave me a ticket, I attended the very first annual of WBS, met Dr. Sylvia Ma, and the rest is history. And as I mentioned, in 2015, we had an opportunity to pitch Tagit in front of plenty of investors here in San Diego. And I'm really, really excited to be here with you today, other than to have heard such wonderful pitches from across the country, but really to say that this is a very unified network. This is a network that buys into the idea of getting more women to become investors so that they could invest in more women. And the culmination of all of these events is really the Women's Venture Summit, which this year is happening on September 19th, 2020. It's a Saturday. Please tune in. You'll get to see more of these competitions, more about what it is investors are looking for and how it is that you could position your company for more investment. Now, this is still true. And I share this with you because I take it very, very personally to make sure that I can keep this statistic and this fact real every year. But I just shared with you that I've attended WVS since 2013. And since 2019, which was last year's WVS, Taggett has very, very successfully raised an average of about $110,000 every year. And I do absolutely credit WVS for that because Dr. Sylvia Ma, Stella Angels, and Stella Labs has done an incredible job at not only bringing us entrepreneurs to these opportunities where we can communicate with other entrepreneurs, investors, but they really empower us and teach us how to become better versions of ourselves so that we can beat all those odd statistics about less than 1% of VC capital going to women of color, and the very, very big disproportion that exists in access to capital for female entrepreneurs. So congratulations to all of the finalists that joined us here today, and everyone that is pitching from now until September to join us at WVS. And remember, womensventuresummit.org is where you can go to register for Women's Venture Summit on September 19th, 2020. And again, my name is Anna Bermudez, the founder and CEO of Taggett. And the next time you watch TV, if you watch it and you want it, all you have to do is tag it. Well, I think I can go on a little more. It doesn't seem like they're going to cut me off or bring that that stick over where they pull you away from the screen. But yeah, I'll just go a little more into what it is that we do at WVS. So it does start with a keynote speaker. We're really, really excited for some of the panelists and discussions that will be had this year. There has been a lot of disruption with COVID-19, and I think that's an understatement for us all. But there has been a lot of disruption, and when there is disruption, not just in an ecosystem, but really around the world, it does create an optimal opportunity. It creates an opportunity for all entrepreneurs to start a business. Because if we've learned anything in 2020 is that anything and everything is possible. With that mentality in mind, you read about the many successful entrepreneurs in the past who have started companies at such a difficult time in their lives, or doing such a broken economy, or perhaps when their country experienced some civil unrest. And it was in those times of chaos and confusion that some of the most successful entrepreneurs came out and succeeded by establishing and creating their businesses. We at Taggett and our team have definitely bought into that idea and into that mentality earlier this year when we knew that uncertainty was just going to be taken to a completely different level when it came to entrepreneurship. But we really sat down and we asked ourselves, okay, as a woman-owned company and as a woman-led company, the team members of Taggett and I sat down and we said, what are some of the challenges that we're going to face during the next few months with what we don't know what will happen with COVID-19? And so we started thinking about, okay, some of the challenges will be access to capital and obtaining contracts. And as it turns out, for us as a woman-owned company in tech, those are the same two challenges that we had in a pre-COVID world. So we do hope that through the fast pitch that you saw today and the amazing entrepreneurs who are not only starting companies, but have already established companies and are growing even in the midst of this pandemic, that you're able to find some inspiration, that you're able to believe that you too can rise to the skies and towards the stars and shine just as bright as one in whatever it is that you're trying to do as an entrepreneur, perhaps as an investor in figuring out which companies you want to invest in. And if you aren't quite one of those yet, but are thinking about getting involved in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, please drop us a note. Go ahead and chat away. I know that the team is watching and listening, and we would be happy to answer your questions, bring you on board, join us at the Women's Venture Summit on September 19th. And any questions that you can have, we would be more than happy to connect. Raven or Dr. Ma, would you like to take it from here? Well, let's see if I can access any of your questions. And I'm looking at the chat box right now, and it doesn't seem to show me anything. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and post them there. In the meantime, I will go ahead and wait for Dr. Ma and or Raven to join us. Oh, it looks like oh, there she is. Oh, no.
Hi, Anna. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Did that work?
Turning my volume up too. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, there. It's so faint.
Okay.
Oh, April just asked a question. Who is the best dressed actor according to your app?
Well, I'm a bit biased because Jessica Alba did give us a shout out, and her personal style has always been my favorite. So yeah, if I had to say best dressed actor, I would go Jessica Alba.
There it is. Best dressed Jessica Alba. I had a question.
One of the reasons why, you know, I wanted to buy anything and everything that I saw on TV all the time. So yes, big inspo from all of the celebrities out there. They're always well dressed, especially during times right now where I'm not always.
I have a quick question. So yes. I've obviously seen a long part of your journey. I mean, I first met you when you pitched Fast Pitch, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
5 years ago.
So I know that you've had a lot of pivots.
Yes.
What has that looked like in anticipation of most founders are going to have a pivot at some point?
100%. So being an entrepreneur is about adapting to different circumstances and different environments. So pivoting is in our nature. It's what we do. We adapt to our environment and to how it is that our business is transforming, or the industry in which we're trying to break into is transforming. So back in 2013, when we first launched Tag It 1.0, it really was a consumer-facing mobile app. Right. So we wanted to cater to the Annas, Ravens, and Aprils of the world, where we wanted to buy, at least for me, I wanted to buy the cutest pair of shoes I saw all the time. But then the industry quickly moved, and they said, hey, we're looking for tech innovators in the retail space. We're looking for tech innovators in the advertising sales space. But we're not necessarily looking for a mobile app. So that was our first pivot, was pivoting away from continuing to build on a consumer-facing app and instead building a SaaS platform, a technology or a service rather that we could license to TV networks, media companies, and retail companies so that we could sell the retailer's product to the TV networks and media companies who have a loyal TV viewer fan base or viewers who tune in religiously. And so really it was more about building a bridge in between the TV viewers who are also consumers and making sure that our platform included both. That's probably the biggest pivot. But I think that, you know, in talking about entrepreneurship, one of the biggest pivots is also of self. I came into this experience thinking, I know everything about my business. Nobody else is an expert in my business. So I'm going to do it my way. I had great mentors like Dr. Ma. I met awesome entrepreneurs through the WVS ecosystem here in San Diego and eventually across the country. And through them, I learned, you know, that there is a lot to be said, not only in adapting your business to the environment, but really adapting yourself. And knowing that you don't know everything and that there are experts out there and people out there who have succeeded in different ways and who may be able to instill or share with you some advice on how it is that you can pivot yourself, change your mindset, experts.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Thanks, Anna, for being our guest speaker today. Thank you for sharing. I didn't hear any of it, but I know you did amazing. Can you hear me? Okay. Raven, can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure because I had a little bit of a sound thing. So the judges are back. We're really excited to announce the winner of the Southeast Women's Fast Pitch. It was a hard decision because everybody was amazing. Their pitches were amazing. The content and the design of their pitches were wonderful. The execution was wonderful. But without further ado, the finalist and the winner for the Southeast is Quirktastic by Bee Law. And I'm going to shoot it over to Aruj to tell you how amazing you are. Yes.
Congratulations. This is amazing. I think that the market timing for your company is fantastic. You know, you guys have the elements of an early, you know, company that I think you guys can go very far. You know, you're starting off with a really niche market like Facebook did. You know, I think that you guys could even potentially go for an IPO. Like there are a couple of other companies like Snapchat that have gone into that in the space. You could easily go into become the next Instagram, you know, with an acquisition offer or something of that sort. So I'm super, super excited to see where you guys go. And, you know, this goes to all of the founders that pitched today. You know, us judges, and I'm sure I speak for all of us, we are here, we are available to you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. And congratulations and thank you so much for pitching. So yay.
Well done, Bee.
Thank
super
you all
excited for you
so much. I'm super excited. Thank you so much again.
Wonderful job. Loved it. You communicated your value prop very well. So well done. And then the winner of the audience choice is, just want to make sure that I do everything right, is Floor Plan, founded by Adia Dightman. So well done. Are we going to get her? Yes, audience choice.
Thank you.
Well done. You did so well in really being able to be that advocate for the small businesses. So, and well done on your pivot during COVID. And we just can't wait for you to succeed even more.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining us today. The next steps for Quirktastic is that she is now going to go to the Women's Venture Summit, which is September 18th and 19th, to pitch for $10,000 of an investment. We are also working in the back of rooms to do SPVs for different founders, finalists, and also people who go to the summit, founders going to the summit. That's a special purpose vehicle to be able to invest in you even more. So we can't say that it's going to happen, but we're trying to, and we're trying to get investors to come in back of those SPVs and help you even grow even more. So join us September 18th and 19th, and then also you get a marketing strategy session with the executive cat herder. She's a dear friend of mine. So we're really excited to be able to give that to you. And of course, an investor investor course by She Invests. So we're really excited to be able to give you those gifts in kind as we go forward. So thank you for coming on tonight or today for the pitch competition. Well done to all the finalists, and thank you judges for your wonderful treasure and talent today. And without further ado, join us next week at 3 p.m. For our next region. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.